Andrew McCART, IFL TV in association with MTK Global. Always delighted to be joined by my good mate, Josh Taylor. First and foremost, Josh, how are you, big man?
Probably the same as you, mate. Pretty bored now. I was panicking a wee bit because when I shaved my hair a few weeks ago, that's only just starting to go back in now. That's about a good 5 weeks, 6 weeks. So I thought I was going like you, mate, bald, but
mate,
no, I'm all right. It's fine.
I'm all good. You're lucky though. Your Mrs. Danielle, she's a hairdresser, so you've got that squared when your hair does grow in, man. She can style it back up for you.
It's a bit of a mess at the minute. Like I'm gonna have to get her to do it again.
Oh,
no bald again, like, but just maybe blind it all in properly.
There's no TV cameras, mate, so you're good. Josh, the reason why I messaged you this morning is because it's been a year since you won your first world title. Now, I've said this in a couple of interviews with you. I can remember when you were an amateur, a young guy in that lock-in boxing gym. If we were just having a chat after a training session, you would write, Josh Taylor, future world champion. Now, what I want to do is, because you are a unified world champion now, I just want to go back to the Ivan BARANCHYK fight when you won your IBF world title, to the beginning sort of thing. So I want to just go back to the initial head-to-head. When you signed Ivan BARANCHYK up, what were your initial thoughts on this man? Because I knew in our interview you said that you believe you could stop him. But what were your initial thoughts when you sized each other up in that first press conference?
The press conference, well, I knew of him beforehand in the amateur game, like going to the Europeans and the Worlds and certain other tournaments. I can't remember specifically which ones, but I can remember him from a few, sort of the later half of my amateur career, like senior years, my last couple of senior years, going to a couple of tournaments, and he was there as well. So. And he always did well and always beat good fighters in that as well. So I always sort of knew who he was, or was aware of him. Never really seen too much of him as a pro up until the WBSS coming around. I seen who the opponents, who was in it, who was going to be in it, all the names. And then I recognised Ivan BARANCHYK's name. And then I started taking notice of him. Obviously, once I beat Ryan Martin, obviously I was boxing BARANCHYK, and then I started watching his fights, and it wasn't too, from what I've seen of his fights that I watched, wasn't too much different for the amateur game. So I thought it was tough, and I knew it was going to be tough and come forward and be strong. And it was the fight played out almost, well, he fought almost exactly how I thought he was going to fight, and it made for pretty much it's sometimes quite an easy fight, but I got involved a wee bit too much at times and made it a bit of a tear up. I could have went that 12, just about that full 12 rounds without taking a punch near enough. If I just used my feet, and at times it's what it was like. But I got off bored and a bit bored, and I could hear the crowd getting silent, and I thought, oh, am I doing enough to win here? And I knew I was comfortably sort of ahead, but my head sort of let me lose the discipline and go in for a tear up, because it was I was able to switch off at times. I was able to sort of switch off and move around and let him hit away at me, break concentration, because it wasn't really, I never really got pushed to my limit. I still had 2-3 years to go, but it was tough. Give him his due, it was tough. I hit him with some really good punches. Obviously went down a couple of times in the 6th round, I believe it was the 6th or the 7th round.
Well, that's what I've done. I've done my wee breakdown of everything. I watched your fight back today, so I want to see what you can remember in that fight, because I don't think you've probably watched it back in a wee while, have you?
I've not watched it for a wee while, no, actually. In fact, the only fight I've watched recently is my fight with Prograis, and that was a good couple of months back now as well. So I've not seen the fight for a while. I might actually watch it tonight, to be fair.
It's a good fight, to be honest, I watched it back this morning, and I was like, this was actually a good fight. It was
definitely a good fight. It was definitely a good fight. At times, it was sort of the first 4 or 5 rounds. I was sort of feeling him out, and he wasn't really landing in on me. I wasn't really landing much on him. He was quite awkward because he was making himself small and stuff like that. But he wasn't hitting me, and I just knew, like, when I was moving and just jabbing and moving, and he couldn't get near me when I was just moving my feet. But then I thought, I need to do something a bit telling here. I need to maybe pull on him a wee bit more and get closer to him and land some bigger, hurtful shots. And that's when I ended up doing it. I set up that right hook that I dropped him with about maybe 1 or 2 rounds beforehand, sort of kind of throwing the left and throwing the right hook, like sort of feinting it, disguising the right hook. setting that up, sort of throwing a lazy left hand and then setting up the right hook, and it caught him and it put him on his arse and hurt him. If I'd had 10 more seconds in that fight, in that round, sorry.
It was the last 2 seconds. It was the last 2 seconds of the 6th round. You put him down for the second time. Do you believe if that was maybe 2 minutes to go and you'd done that little?
Oh, 100%. 100%. He was gone. His legs and his equilibrium was away. So I thought 5 more seconds rest in that round, he'd been gone. He'd been away. But obviously it wasn't. The bell rang and they got through it. But what you've got to give credit to him, because right away I thought, I've got him. Said to Shane in the corner, I've got him. He's ready to go. He's away. And I come out the next again round, the 7th round, and he come out straight away and put a solid jab in. And his rates of recovery was just like he was getting hurt. And then so that's credit to him. He was in great shape, very strong. He was very physically strong. Not so much physically strong, but he was solid. He was solid. He wasn't like that physically strong, but like throwing me about. I actually thought I was stronger than him inside, but he was very solid. His body was solid, and he punched quite hard as well. He did punch quite hard. I'd say that's the hardest puncher I've been in with as a pro.
Before we're going about that, I want to just go back to the weigh-in as well, because I forgot all about what happened at the weigh-in. Do you remember what happened at that weigh-in?
Like it was yesterday,
That was quite a crazy thing that happened, eh? Just explain.
No,
what happened.
I was ready to fight there and then after it, because I was going through the back and I was going mental, all the officials and the judges or whoever it was there, all the officials, the inspectors and all that. I was going mad at them, because I stood on the scales, and then I'm pretty sure it was Craig Stephen shouted out the weight, and we have a fight. We shouted out the weight, and obviously I was like, right, I've made weight. Fair enough. I knew I was on weight anyway, and I went and took a big gulp of water, like half a litre of water almost, and Freddie Roach has come over. You're overweight, blah blah blah. So I had to stand back on the scales again. And then by that point I was overweight, because I just downed like half a litre of water. So I had, right, you've got 2 hours to go and get it off. I was fucking raging, I was like, fucking, I've made my fucking weight, blah 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 blah, and all these people. But when I was standing on the scales, it was flickering between like 0.4, 0.5 and 0.6, kind of flickering, because there were so many people walking about, and the scales were like uneven as well. Like when you, after the weigh-in, obviously I took these scales, we're on stage, backstage to obviously do my weight again, and took it to a level floor, and the scales were uneven, and so that was probably why it was flickering, because I'm professional with my weight. I know exactly what weight to come in, I know how to do it, and I knew I was on weight, but the scales were flickering, so they obviously 0.1 or something, so I was overweight by 0.1 of a kilo or something. So I was like, fuck, 100 grams. So they says, right, you've got 2 hours to go through and make weight. So I had like team sort of tracksuits on. I never had any sweat gear with me. I just put another tracksuit on, another hoodie on, and I went and done skipping for 10 minutes, and I was back on weight again. So it shows you how easy I'm making the weight. It's like everybody's, how does he make weight? Because it's huge for light welter. How do you must struggle for weight? But you get 2 hours to make the weight again. I done it in 10 minutes, and I just drank a half a litre of water as well. So it just shows you how easy I'm making the weight. I'm comfortable making the weight.
Was that an old
but
school?
I remember that like it was fucking yesterday. It still annoys me. But do you know what?
Like,
in hindsight, it probably fired me up a wee bit more. Do you know what I mean? Because I was annoyed at him. I took it out on him. I was like, I'm going to fucking, I was saying to his coach, his manager, I'm going to fucking kill him tomorrow. I'm going to hurt him and that. I'm going to fucking knock him out. And I was raging, so I took that anger with me into the ring, and I think it obviously worked.
Do you think that was an old school tactic from Freddie Roach? Like waiting till you drunk the water and then coming over and saying, you're overweight, get back on the scale. Do you think that was sort of like a little...
Well, listen, probably. Freddie's been a veteran of the game. He's been around for years and years and years, and so many boxers and world champions and, champions in the wildcard gym. So he knows every trick in the book. And it shows he's still sharp as a tack when it comes to things like that as well. It's just he knew he was on the ball there, and he knew straight away. So fair play to him, because if that was the other way around, I expect my team to do the same. So fair play to him, but it didn't make any difference, because he still got slapped about. And I got that title, baby.
Yeah, baby. The thing is, as well, Josh, see, like I told you, I watched the fight back this morning, and it was the whole spectacle as well. Like you walking out the ring, standing on the little sort of plinth that they had, and then the lights and stuff, and the Hydro singing "Flower of Scotland." Like, what were you feeling? Were you feeling any nerves on that plinth when the lights were going up and Josh Taylor standing to the light or coming to the light, whatever it was? What was your?
No, really.
What were you feeling?
No, really. No for the BARANCHYK fight. I wasn't nervous at all. I was really quite calm. Really quite. No. I think wait now. I'm getting mixed up here. No. I was really quite calm before the BARANCHYK fight. It was before the Ryan Martin one. I was a wee bit nervous because I knew it was the final one before my world title fight. Do you know what I mean? I said I need to fucking win this one, or I'm not getting this world title shot. So I was a wee bit nervous just before I walked out that one. You know, I remember a bit of a sort of roar just before I walked out to get my emotions out. Like, fuck, let's go, fuck, like top of my voice, a big fucking roar. I think Shane looked at me like I was a bit fucking mad, but like it got me going and let out that wee bit of nerves, you know. And went out, walked to the ring, walked cool as a cucumber, and done the job. So, but the BARANCHYK fight, I had never been so confident. You know, I knew the way I trained and prepared for that fight, and the shape I was in. It was the way I was perspiring in that as well. I knew I was going to win that fight. There was no doubts in my mind.
The thing is, well, Josh, I think that you take the first round off just to sort of like feel your opponent out. I think I've noticed it in the last few fights. You sort of like just little parry shots and stuff like that to feel your opponent out to see what shots he's got. Because was it a cagey first 2 rounds, or did you just feeling your BARANCHYK out in them first 2 rounds?
Can't really remember the top of my head. I'm not sure I think I maybe won the first round. Did I know that fight? What do you think?
It was a close first round, guy. Definitely a close first round.
I'm pretty sure I thought I won it. I know it was close, but there wasn't really anything telling. You know, it was quite. I knew like there was nothing that sort of telling in that round that I'd landed to really give it to each fighter. But I kind of, when I come back to the corner, I thought, right, okay, it's a decent round. I'll say that one's in the bag. And I just went out and see what it was all about. And he come out and I thought, right, he come out and swung a couple of big shots. I thought, right, this is what he's going to do all night. Because
you were making him miss a lot. You were making him miss a lot in the first 3-4 rounds, yeah.
Every fight that I watched of him, that's what he did. You know, he come out and no feeling about, just woof, straight in. You know, like there's no finesse about his work. It's all or nothing, you know, but it works for him, you know, but obviously I just knew that's what he did. He was very one-dimensional that kind of way. So I was making him miss, and at times I thought it was real easy, but I was getting bored and kind of thinking, I could hear the crowd getting silent at times, and I thought, I know I'm kind of ahead here, or slightly ahead, but he's not catching me, and I'm making him miss. I'm walking around the ring, using my jab. I thought, am I really doing enough to win here? Because this is my world title fight. So I mean, it's my chance to win the title. I thought, am I really doing enough here? And then I just changed. I said, fuck it, I'm going to go put it on him and have a fight with him. And then that's when I ended up dropping him and then hurting him a few times in that fight. I hurt him a good few times in that fight.
Don't worry, I've got them written down when you've hurt him, mate. Don't worry. I know when you hurt him. In the 5th round, though, you got cut in the left eye. Yeah. I think the left eye. Can you remember what punch that was, or anything like that? Was it a punch, a headbutt? What was it?
Can't remember, to be honest. I think it was probably a punch. I'm not sure. I'd need to watch the fight again. But the cut wasn't that bad. So it didn't affect me at all. You know, so I wasn't really. But I knew I was bleeding, but it wasn't affecting me. So I wasn't bothered. You know, even when I do get cuts in fights, it doesn't bother me. You've seen, I've had a couple of horrific cuts in my fights, and they're above my eyes. But it doesn't bother me. It doesn't faze me at all. You know, it's you're in a fight, that kind of thing's going to happen. So it doesn't bother me at all if I get cut.
Like the knockdowns obviously happened in the 6th round. I mean, were you relieved when you knocked him down? The first knockdown, you sort of like put your arms up like that as if to say, "Thank fuck, I've done it. I've knocked him down, or I've got him here." Did you feel
relief? Just like, yes, good shot. I'm well ahead now. So I mean, like, because I knew I was kind of keeping ahead, and then put him down. Yes, so I'm well ahead now. And then I kind of took 7th and 8th off and sort of let him back into the fight, which is a wee bit of a mistake and a wee bit inexperienced. Like, I kind of, because I thought I'm well ahead here, and he came out in the 7th round. And it was like I hadn't even been hit. He was fresh. His rates of recovery were brilliant. I thought, Jesus, man, how's he back as sharp as this again when he's just been decked twice and out on his feet? And he come back out the 7th round, and I thought, right, well, I was maybe not ready yet. I'll just take my time again. I'm ahead. And I think I took 1 or 2 rounds off, just moving around and not really doing much, which is probably a wee bit of a mistake on my behalf looking back. But listen, I never put myself in any danger or anything like that. I played it pretty safe until the last couple of rounds.
That's the thing as well. Like, I've got to say, I think it was the 7th round he hit you with like a sneaky little right uppercut. And I can remember the commentator saying, that was a good shot by BARANCHYK. I mean, did he hurt you in that fight? You said he's the hardest puncher, and I never ever see your legs dip or see any grimace in your face when I've watched you fight. But did BARANCHYK hurt you in that fight? Because it's hard to tell if he has.
No, he never hurt me. He never hurt me, but I remember thinking, they're quite weighty. Do you know, when I let him in close and let him see what kind of power he had at first, I sort of tucked up and said, right, let's see what he's got, and boom, I felt boom on the sides, and I thought, they're quite weighty with a bit of meat behind them. Do you know what I mean? Like, quite wacky, thudding punches. But he caught me clean a couple of times, but never once bothered me. But it was enough for me to go, right, I need to watch what I'm doing here, because if he catches me, he might hurt me. But never once did they hurt me. Like, it was, I just, not once actually. But I can remember sort of thinking, yeah, I got my respect, because I come out the first round, blah, 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 and then had a wee look. And he covered up and went to see what he had. Let's see what firepower he's got. And let him whack it, I think, once or twice. And I remember thinking, there's a bit sauce behind the punches, so I didn't want to let him hit me with too many of them. So he earned my respect that way. But in terms of hurting me, nowhere near hurting me. I think I walked through every single one of his punches.
What does that say about you then, Josh? That just say
you've got the body a couple of times. He did. I can remember him hitting me around the back of the elbows a couple of times, and thinking, I don't know if letting him hit me with any more of them, like moving away. Do you know what I mean? Like moving away and sort of.
In the camera, you could tell your back was starting to redden because he couldn't quite find the body shots. He was trying to come around the side and hitting you right at the back of the kidneys and stuff, like kidney shots. And did they hurt, or did you feel them, or you were just so much adrenaline you didn't pay attention to it? Because you never.
No, a couple of times he hit me, you go, oh, right, that was a good one. I better not let him, get too many of them off. So, but it never hurt me. But he's definitely a solid puncher. He's definitely got to give him credit where it's due. He was definitely a solid puncher. Like, he's probably the hardest puncher I've been with as a pro.
You said to yourself after the knockdown sort of thing, you took a couple of rounds off, and I noticed in the 10th round you sort of sat in the pocket a bit more and you unleashed him. You actually hurt him with a couple of good body shots, uppercuts, fighting like 3-4 shot combinations and stuff like that. Was that, I don't know what was said in the corner, but when you came out in the 10th, it seemed like you had a little bit of urgency. Did you think to yourself, but I've let him back into this fight a little bit here. I need to go out in these last 3 and get it done. I
sort of thought, right, I've took my foot off the gas here a bit. I need to make sure now. I know I'm ahead, but I need to make sure now that there's no question about who's won this fight. So I kind of put my foot back on the gas a wee bit more. I think it was the 10th, 11th, and then I knew I had the fight won in the last round. But then I think I took most of the last round off, and then I thought he's winning this round, and I think it was maybe the last minute I thought, right, I need to finish strong, finish like the champion, and I ended up having a fight with him and having a good bit of a fight with him in the last round again. But I could have made that fight so much easier for myself. I could have made it a 12-round boxing shutout, really. If I really wanted to, I could have done that, no problem.
Then I'll ask you this then, Josh. Do you fight with your heart more than your head?
No. It's more my head. But sometimes you've got to bite in the gum shield and fight and let the guy know. Because there's kind of there's a conversation going on in there between you and your opponent. There's no words spoken, but there's kind of a physical conversation going on. If he's hitting you a couple of times or whatever, he knows if he's maybe hit you a good shot, or if you've hit him a good shot, and there's kind of there's like a conversation kind of going on before a word being spoken. It's weird.
There's little nods and stuff like that. Aye.
You can see so I kind of knew, right, I need to finish strong here. This guy thinks he's getting back in the fight. Finish strong. Let him know you're the man, you're the champion, and you took the belt from him. And that's what I did. I decided to put it back on him again the last round in a bit.
The last round, let's talk about the last round then, because he did have you, probably the first time in the fight, really, he pinned you back a little bit against the ropes and the corners and stuff like that. Even though you managed to do your Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope a little bit, you did throw punches back and stuff like that. What was going through your mind when he was backing you up more and more in the 12th?
I know, I was comfortable. I was comfortable. It was just like, he wasn't hitting me. You know, he was throwing a lot of punches, but he wasn't hitting me. I was dipping and rolling and slipping and ducking and tucking him up and then hitting him back. You know, so I was like, he kind of hit me and he couldn't hurt me as well. So I was just like, come ahead. But then I thought, come on now, it's your last round. Don't let him like hit you with a shot and knock you down or whatever. So switch back on and put it back on him again. So I was just really comfortable in there the whole fight. The whole fight I was really comfortable in there.
You obviously raised your arms. Were you how confident were you in terms of percentage that you had won that fight?
100%. I was 100% confident I won that fight. I knew I won most of the rounds. Couple of the first rounds were quite close and sort of hard to score because there wasn't really much happening. But then 2 knockdowns and then I won I think it was maybe 5 of the 6 rounds, maybe the last 6 rounds. So 4 of the 6 rounds, 4 of the last 6 rounds. So I thought, I'm well ahead here. There's no way that I'm going to get beat this fight. It can't be. You know, so there was no doubt in my mind.
I want you to.
That's
what I was going to say, Josh. Wait, I was going to say, I want you to cast your mind back and think, right, when Howard Foster had both your wrists, and then Craig Stevens in his kilt, Scotsman, you're in Glasgow, the fans are there. What was your thoughts, the initial emotion, not your reaction, your emotion when Craig Stevens was like, and the new? Was it relief? What was it?
At the time, it was just like, oh, thank God. So I was just like, I've done it. Mission accomplished. Fucking yes, nice one. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I've done it, man. That's a long time I've been dreaming about this and thinking about this. A long time I was just like, fucking yes, nice one, Josh. Mission done. Well done. Job complete. So it was it was hard. Like, it was not really that, it was quite weird. It wasn't really that emotional. It was just like, finally, I've done it. Always knew I was going to be world champion. Always knew I was going to become world champion. Just like, I've done it now. That's it. It wasn't until I went away on holiday and was sitting at the pool with Danielle and I said to her, fuck, man, I'm world champion. Danielle, and I looked around and she went, I was just sitting sunbathing next to the pool and I turned around and went, Danielle, I'm fucking world champ. I'm the world champ. Like, she just started laughing and I was like, fucking hell, I've done it now. And then it started sinking in when I had a bit of downtime. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a bit of time to relax and chill out. I was like, fucking hell, I've done it. Like, I was like, then I'm obviously proud of myself for what I've done. Then, with a bit of time off in between fights, you watch the fights back, and I was like, wow, I've done that. I've finally done it. Look what I've done. 15 fights and a world champion. Amazing, man.
See, the thing is, I watched my post-fight interview back with you as well, and I said to you the post-fight interview, I was like, I thought that me and you would be like, yes, jumping up and down, but it did feel like, yeah, you did it. We knew you were going to do it. It was like, well done, Josh. You know what I mean? Because I knew from...
Like I don't know how to say it. Kind of, because you're expecting that you've world, like you say, world champion. Yes, go party, go mental with your lads and family, and like celebrate properly the lifetime world champion, lifetime of dreaming about that moment. So you think you would go, yes, and have a good night, but it wasn't. It was like, oh, well, I'm kind of like an anticlimax, like when you're planning on maybe going to a concert or something, or going to see a show or something like that, and your expectations are up there, and you go and see it, and you're like, wasn't that good? Wasn't as good as I was expecting. It's kind of like that, but it was more just like, I've done it. I've done it now. Well done. Like, knew it was going to happen. I've finally done it. I can finally say I can finally write on bits of paper, Josh Taylor, world champion.
I know that's what I always say to everybody. I even tell my son Max, I was like, Josh wrote that down every single day that he's going to be world champion, and it's like that true sort of saying, believe it, achieve it, and all that sort of stuff, which is good to see. I've got to say as well, was there another point in that you never got time to sort of like relax being a world champion, because Regis Prograis entered that ring. You know what I mean? And it was like, that's Josh Taylor's next fight, Regis Prograis. So it wasn't like a chance for you to go, I'm world champion, let me sit back, pick my opponents, who do I want to fight next? Have I got a mandatory? No, it was like, boom, we just face to face, like within minutes of you winning that world title. I mean, did that play a part
Next
in the
fight,
celebrations?
unification fight. You know, it's and that was probably one of the main reasons why I went into the tournament, was because not only was there a chance for me to win the world title in 15 fights, there was another chance for me to become unified world champion in the next fight. You know, so usually in the normal run of things, fighters will win their titles or world title, and then they'll have a couple of voluntary defences and a couple of sort of pick me fights, like cherry picking fights, and then they'll go for a bigger one, and then they'll go for try and get the bigger ones, you know. But with me, it was like, right, you're fighting the world champion for this belt, win it, and then you're on to fight the supposedly number one guy in the division, and for the two belts, you know. And I was like, right, let's go, you know. So, and I've done it now, 16 fights, unified world champion, IBF, WBA, and Ring Magazine belt, and Muhammad Ali Trophy champion, all 16 fights. Is mental, you know. Now I'm chasing the next fight for the winner out of Ramirez, or if that fight goes ahead, chase Ramirez, you know. If him or Postal, if that fight doesn't go ahead, hopefully me and him can get on straight away. Just need to wait to see what happens after this lockdown.
Josh, I've got to say, like, it's amazing, like you said, 16 fights, unified world champion. Even at that, it's like, I think somebody done it on Twitter saying that your last 4 opponents, their record was 96-1.
94-1.
94-1, yeah. I mean,
94-1, aye.
How many fighters can say that their last 4 opponents had that sort of record between them?
I know, no, it's been good. I've had a good, you know, upcoming, you know, and that is, you know, I know I'm not with them anymore, but credit to my old management team, and getting me the fights and sort of getting the fights at the right time. So credit where it's due. They've done a good job. But I was the one that was in the ring doing the fighting and getting the results. So I mean, you could put $100. I believe you could put $100 fighters in the same positions and they'll get the same results. You know, I was the one that was in there throwing the punches and putting on their performances. So I'm proud of myself, like 100%.
Definitely. Well, Josh, I'm proud of you as well, big man. Like I said, I remember you being that amateur in that lock-in boxing gym writing them. I was like, Josh, what are you writing, man? You've wrote that about 100 times, Josh, and it's, for me, it's good to see you achieve your goal, because I've achieved fuck all in life.
top interview in IFL, mate.
There you go. I'll take that title. That's my world title. Josh, I want to say thank you for doing this for IFL TV. I know it's kind of hard with everything that's going on and to get motivated and to have a chat, talk boxing, and like I've interviewed you 3 times since this lockdown, but I wanted to, since it's been 1 whole year since you've won your world title, I thought I'd get your thoughts on it and how you're feeling right now that you are a world champion, you're living your life. So again, thanks so much, mate. I really appreciate it.
Nah, no problem. And again, again, 1 year on the day anniversary, so I might go and put the fight on now. Daniel's through there watching something now, but I might just go and turn it off and say, right, come on. Yeah, let's watch your fight. It's our anniversary.
Exactly. It's our anniversary. Well, take a wee photo, Josh, and send me to prove you're watching it.
No, I was just super proud of myself, man. You know, like when you didn't really get a chance to sit down and think about it, because there's always something next thing going on, and there's always something happening. The next target, you know, this is what I want to do next. That's what I want to do next. And then, you know, you sit down, you've got a bit of downtime now, sitting, you go, fuck me. And when you really think about it, you go, fucking hell, I've done that. Jesus Christ, I've done no bad. And there's still more to come. So the best is yet to come, Andy.
There you go. And I'll end it there, Josh. That's the perfect way to end it. Like I said, honestly, I can't wait to see you back in the ring, mate. Honestly, I enjoy your fights. Like I say, I'm a fan, and people are going to say, Andrew, Josh Taylor, but I don't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? Thanks for everything. Thanks very much, mate. I appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll see you in the ring sooner rather than later.
No bother, mate. And I'll see you again soon, mate. I'll see you again soon.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, bro. Take care. Take
Cheers.
care.